Morning everyone. Today I'm here to do assessment through presentation on EDU435. So the topic is like beyond the open door deconstruction and QS quality area 6 collaborative partnership with families and communities. So this is my presentation about national equality standard quality area 6 collaborative partnership with families and communities. We chose this area as it is one of the most complicated and important issues in the early childhood education practice. It urges us to go past a naive open door policy and to subject the substantive meaning of partnership with families to scrutiny. In our study, a significant discrepancy between the suggested vision of partnership and its practical implementation was identified. We're going to break down QA6, examine the features of practice of exceeding, and find the major barriers and solution of the transition between surface level engagement and authentic real interaction. There are two standards which supports quality area 6. The foundation is standard 6.1, which bears the title of supportive relationship and it simplifies the respectful and welcoming relation that support families in their parenting role. Meanwhile, standard 6.2 collaborative partnership envisions a more advanced form of interaction where education and inclusion of every child is achieved through an active participation in the family and community. I'm really sorry about the background noise. Although most of the services can fulfill the requirement of 6.1, they often find difficulties with 6.2. True collaboration is mutual power and decision making that is much more complicated than hollow greetings. We study the way to overcome the distance between informing families and collaborating with them. Underlying the framework, the theoretical imperative in see ecological system theory and Vygotsky sociocultural theory. QS6 does not just happen, it is a direct translation of foundation theory, ecological system theory developed by Brunfener tells us that the presence of an or absence of a good relationship between the home and the early childhood service that the child attends the mixed system is critical to the healthy development of a child. The unhealthy association would compel the child to use to incompatible words. Similarly, the theory of Vygotsky recognizes the family as the main, more knowledgeable other and hence the initial teacher of the child inability to collaborate on the familial level effectively verifies the history of learning of child and attempts by educators to scaffold the new learning question one becomes worthless. The other one is supporting frameworks, the policy imperative. These great theories are clearly enshrined in our guiding document. Partnership have been identified by the evaluator version 2.0 as one of its principles and they are characterized by collective decision making and joint trust. It is directly connected with the principle of respect of diversity, which requires teachers to actively reflect the values and the beliefs of family in the curriculum. The principles are the operationalized by the NQS into an assessment standard. Example 6.1.2. This three-pronged policy theory develop an NQS mixed partnership and inadmissible component of a pedagogy. Partnership paradox. We found in the literature review a strong partnership paradox of an error report of 2024. The research related NQs voting to the developmental outcomes of children with high score of question 1 program NQA3 environment showing a strong association with low rates of developmental vulnerability but with high scores in QA6 partnership, a weak and a inconsistent relationship Systematic discovery does not undermine the role of partnership. It only shows that our present-day evaluation of meeting or exceeding partnership is often a superficial adherence which has no quantifiable effect on child development. Conclusion of literature review part 2: the neo-colonizing partnership. The second major finding of our review shows why superficial relationship of partnership does not grow. According to the research by Susan E.T. 2024 and the Mueller Report 2017, the status quo of partnership among many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families is neo-colonization activities which are taken for granted is where all the decision-making power is held by the services, strengthen assimilation and places barriers, do not contribute to cultural safety and do not address the existing mistrust that most families have developed towards education system that is made clear in the literature. Partnership cannot be achieved until the trust has been built. A service whose performance is standard 6.1 is that open its closest to the community, releases newsletter and gives update on how their child is doing and so on, which meet the compliance question. Nevertheless, in exceeding standard 6.2 is made by going beyond the provision of the information into construction families is an exceeding service also become co-initiators of the program. Their funds of knowledge is used to define the curriculum. The service actively reforms power structures so that the families participate in decision making concerning the learning of their child. There are two fundamental issues that require coverage in order to achieve an exceeding rating. To start with, tokenistic practice should be eliminated. The typical example of this is the observation of harmony when families are only invited to bring up this critical action research can provide a way out question what they are doing and to discover the obstacle they unwillingly share in their path. Second, existed due to historical injustices should be eliminated until families believe that the service is a cultural safe space which can be done through constant and genuine respect and the act of listening partnership cannot be pursued. First, there must be an official shift of services of community-led governance based on the SNAICC partnership model and transfers of shared decision-making process to the QS6 in line with QS7. Secondly, the QIP can be supplemented with a strategic framework like BU, which allow developing a systematic approach to building two-way communication and integrating the principle of mental health and partnership into a continuous cycle of improvements. To sum up, quality exercise is not a choice but an educational necessity that is based on the developmental theory. The available evidence has shown that the superficial engagement has no observable, observable impact on child outcomes. Whereas going beyond demands or decolonizing transition to co-instruction, the practitioner will be required to break down the service-based system and service trust by being culturally respectful and developing authentic partnership that can support every child to succeed. Thank you.